A century or 100 miles is a benchmark distance for any cyclist. The marathon equivalent, it's something every cyclist should be ticking off their bucket list. Today, Chris and I are going to be taking on the hottest new route, Velo Essex, which is actually 100 miles, funny enough.
So what's so good about Velo Essex? There's two route options. There's a 100-mile and a 50-mile option. So if you're not confident doing the 100-mile option, you can do the 50-mile option and look at doing the 100-mile in the future. The route is completely closed roads, so you have nothing to worry about traffic-wise. It really is something truly unique to experience when you're riding out on a bike. Lastly, the 2014 Tour de France came through these roads and finished in central London with Marcel Kittel winning the stage.
And don't forget, Chris, we've got beautiful countryside, picturesque villages and amazing rural lanes which lend themselves perfectly to a great day out cycling. It starts here in Highlands Park, which is just outside of Chelmsford in Essex, and we're only about an hour away from London, so not too far at all. So let's get to it. So when you're preparing for your first ever 100 miles, it's really important that you research the route that you're going to do. If you're going to be doing a really hilly route, you're going to want to adapt your training so that you're doing more hills. And if you're doing a flatter route, such as the Velo Essex, which is 1,100 metres of climbing, you're going to want to work on your longer and more consistent efforts. It's really important that you just match your training to the route you're going to do.
To try and aim for maybe 6 hours a week on the bike and try and go for a 12-week training plan. So now we're in FINCHINGFIELD, which apparently is the most photographed village in the whole of the United Kingdom.
Just remember that you are riding 100 miles. It is far. Even if you're quick, even if you're slow, it's going to take you a few hours to complete this distance. So it's really important that you don't go too hard in the beginning and that you try and ride at consistent effort throughout. So that means not going out too hard, not trying to keep up with the top fast riders if you know that you can't ride at 25 mile an hour for 100 miles. The most important thing is to save a little bit in reserve for those last 20 miles because that's when the fatigue is really going to set in, and at that point it's a mental battle.
Survive on the adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. First of all, it's really important to conserve energy. Don't be sprinting up over those hills or trying to drop your mates. Second of all, it's really important to know where the feed stops are and make sure you actually stop at them. There's nothing worse than ending up with no energy on a really long ride. And finally, make sure that you've planned where you're going to take those calls of nature to.
So we're going to talk about a few little aero hacks to help you in this ride. First things first, get yourself into a good group of equal ability riders. You can then share the load, take turns on the front and really encourage each other along. Next, I'd say the most important thing to think about is drafting. You can save up to 40% by sitting on the wheel of another rider. So riding in a group, drafting each other is going to help you and feel much fresher as you get towards the end. All of these together, they're going to help you complete the 100 miles much quicker, feeling much better and much fresher.
So first of all, I'll break it down into 3 steps for you. First of all, you've got the night before, so it's important to get a balanced meal with a little bit of extra carbs, but no need to go crazy and have something super heavy. For example, you could have something like tuna pasta bake. Then you've got the morning of the race. I usually have some porridge, or you can go for some overnight oats. It's important to get your carbs in again and a little bit of protein. And then whilst you're out on the bike, it's so important to fuel whilst you're out there. And British Cycling recommends around 60 grams of carbs per hour. That's about the same as 2 small bananas or a whole bottle of carb energy drink.
So we're wrapping it up now. Kira, what are your 3 top tips for this event?
Ooh, so make sure you prepare. Don't forget to eat, you'll definitely regret it. And remember, it's most important, have fun. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you've got any tips for us, leave us a comment down below. Thanks so much, bye.
Bye.